Hey guys, Trevy the Great here again with another 40k battle report. This time we got some Blood Angels fighting some Space Wolves, some awesome MEQ on MEQ action. We're going to see some power armor dudes beating each other senseless. We got both two very salty armies in power armor with chainswords fighting it out over this terrain board here. Yeah, that's how it goes. This game is Dawn of War and Seas Ground, so pretty cool. This is a picture of the deployment. You can see the objectives on the board. There's one on the left-hand side above that little village, one in the little jungle, in the center of that little jungle there, on the left-hand side of the photo, one in the ruin, the white ruin in the center, and one just above that that forest on the right-hand side of the board. So hopefully you can see those. Those are just little tokens of ammo crates and things like that. So hopefully you can pick those out. Like I said, we're both running very salty armies. I decided to take a little bit more of a combined army rather than all jump infantry, which is what I run normally. So this is a list I've been playing around with lately, and I wanted to try it out this game, so we'll see how it goes. This list, I have two tactical squads, missile launcher, flamer gun. I like the flamers because they flame things and set things on fire. Fire is always cool. So two of those, and they are in rhinos, and the rhinos have additional storm bolters, so two storm bolters on those rhinos, because first of all, storm bolters, if you pull off a weapon and then immobilize a vehicle and then do another thing to it, then it'll get wrecked. But if you have two storm bolters, you have to take two weapons off, so it makes them a little harder to take down. And also, because Blood Angels rhinos are fast, they can move. They can move their 6 inches, because you're not always moving 12 inches. Move 6 inches, shoot two storm bolters rather than just one, and sometimes it's just a little extra that you need to kill some bad guys. So I like it. Plus, two storm bolters on top of a rhino looks really cool. So there you go. I also have two Devastator squads with 4 missile launchers, because missile launchers are sweet. And then I have 3 assault squads with flamer and a meltagun and a power weapon, just like I normally run. And they are attached to 3 sanguinary priests with bull pistol chainsword. And then backing it all up, we got the Sanguinor, the great man himself, to give some free attacks out there and kill some guys all by himself. So that is my army. My opponent is running, let's see if I can get it all in one go. He's running very salty, very fast, salty army. He's got a big old unit of 15 blood claws with Ragnar Blackmane, and they are in a Land Raider Crusader, so very scary. They get D plus D3 attacks on the charge, minimum of 2. That's how it works, because they get plus 2 attacks on charge because they're blood claws, and then Ragnar Blackmane gives them plus D3 attacks. I guess the FAQ says you get a minimum of 2 attacks if you're using Blood Claws with Ragnar Blackmane. And then Ragnar Blackmane in one turn can also give them Furious Charge, so it's very scary. He's also got 2 units of of Grey Hunters in Rhinos. The Grey Hunters have 2 melted guns and a Power Fist and a Wolf Standard and a Mark of the Wolfen, so pretty standard, I think. He's also got a Dreadnought with Multi-Melta Stormbolter, I think, in a drop pod, and then he's got a big old unit of 10 or 15, I don't remember the exact number, of bikers, and they have a wolf priest in them to give them some preferred enemy against enemy units. And other than that, he's got a predator annihilator with 3 last cannons, so fire support there. And I just realized I got the army list wrong already, so I also have taken a unit of 5 scouts with sniper rifles and a missile launcher and camo cloaks, because I had 100 points to spend, so I decided, why not just take some scouts, and they might be useful. So here's the deployment. Like I said, we both deployed 2 troops choices, kept everything else off the board. My opponent has his 2 rhinos in the center there with his Grey Hunters in them, ready to deal some death. I've combat squad in my 2 tactical squads, because it is an objectives game, so I might as well. I have one of these squads in that little village there with a missile launcher. Hopefully that missile launcher will survive, get a shot off in that rhino, and kill it. And then I have the scout squad over in the forest on the right there, and they are going to they deployed a little bit far back. They got their scout move to move into it, and they're going to hopefully be able to put some shots into that other rhino and do some damage. And then they have their camo cloaks as well, so they're going to have a pretty good cover save in that cover. So my opponent won the roll to go first, so he's going to be going first, and we'll see how it goes for the awesome Blood Angels. Okay, top of round one. Obviously, it didn't go too well for the awesome Blood Angels. As you can see, that tactical squad there has been utterly annihilated by the fusillade of fire. My opponent moved up both his rhinos and dropped his Grey Hunters out. He also dropped in that drop pod because it comes in first turn because of drop pod assault, and all of his guys came in. Most of them just moved up 12 inches. He's got his Land Raider on the left-hand side there, his Predator on the right-hand side. They just moved up 12 because we are fighting with night fighting, and even though I don't think his vehicle's got acute senses, so he wouldn't be able to shoot at anything anyway. So everything just moved up. He's got his bikers in the center there, moving up real fast. I think they turbo boosted, so that happened. So he piled out his Grey Hunters. He moved up his Rhinos, piled out those Grey Hunters, and just rapid fired the crap out of my guys. The Grey Hunters, combined with the Dreadnought and the drop pod and all that shooting, were able to take out the tactical squad there that used to be in the village. And then the scouts were reduced to just the missile launcher and the sergeant by the Grey Hunters on the right-hand side. So not looking too good, but he's got a bunch of units up in my backfield now, and I'm going to counter assault with those my assault squads, my tactical squads, and I'm going to be able to do some damage. So let's see how it goes. Okay, bottom of round one, the Blood Angels are making their amazing counterattack. Everybody's moving onto the field. Things are getting crazy. So where do I start? Obviously, all of my troops have moved onto the field. I've been able to jump over that drop pod with one of my assault squads, and they moved up as well as the Sanguinor to attack the Grey Hunter squad that are over there next to that village. I moved up one of the assault squads and my Rhino over on the bottom there on the left-hand side of the village. That Rhino actually has my one of the combat squads for my tactical squad with the sergeant and the flamer in it. The sergeant in there got the Sanguinor's Blessing, and the squad actually got the Red Thirst. So they are Furious Charge, Fearless, and the sergeant has a bunch of close combat abilities. So hopefully they're going to be able to hold up that big unit of Blood Claws and do some damage in close combat with that unit. And then I've moved that assault squad up there to hopefully take out the Land Raider with a melta-gun. We'll see how it goes. I'm not really confident in my abilities with melta-guns. They usually miss, so we'll see. Obviously, I moved up my guys on the other side of the village. I have Devastator that moved in. Devastator squad with 4 missile launchers moved into the village. You got my tactical squad over there on the left-hand side of the village. I got a Devastator squad on the right-hand side of the village. Just Devastators all over the place. I got one squad behind the Dreadnought. They fired at it with a melta-gun. They actually hit, and then because it was rear armor, they got a pretty good penetrating hit, and then were able to wreck it right off the bat. So that was really good. Otherwise, that Dreadnought could have made a big mess of things for me. Now, what happened is that the Sanguinor, and well, first of all, the Rhino over on the right-hand side of the village there were able to pile out their tactical squad, fire the Flamer at the Grey Hunters, and do a bunch of wounds. That coupled with the shooting from the amazing Stormbolter on top of the Rhino. I was rolling hot with my Stormbolters. I killed one guy with the first Stormbolter on the first Rhino. I killed another guy with a Stormbolter from the other Rhino. So 2 guys went down from Stormbolters alone, and then I did a bunch of wounds with Flamer and Bolters, and killed half of the squad. They decided to fail their morale test and run away. And that was good because I hadn't fired my assault squad. I didn't fire my assault squad out because I wasn't sure if they were going to run away or not, and there was a good chance they would have shot themselves out of an assault, so they didn't fire. And them and the Sanguinor both assaulted that Rhino there and wrecked it pretty easily, so that was good. Now what's going to happen is that those bikers are going to move up, and they're probably going to assault either the Sanguinor or that assault squad, and I'm hoping they do that because then I can just move my troops around, counter-assault that unit, and wipe them out, and then hopefully deal with those Grey Hunters as they fall back. So we'll see how it goes on turn 2. Okay, top of turn 2, this is Space Wolf's turn. Obviously, they've made a big push in the center there. As you can see, all those bikers have moved up to attack the Sanguinor. They decided to charge the Sanguinor. I took a couple wounds from shooting. I think the Predator shot at him did a wound, and I think the shooting from the bikes did another wound, so he's taken 2 wounds already out of his 3. The Grey Hunters over there on the top that were fighting the scouts, they decided to pile into the Rhino. I don't remember why. He didn't move the Rhino. I think he might have kept shooting at the scouts. or not. I don't remember off the top of my head, but something was going on over there. But so he assaulted the Sanguinor, basically moved everything up. He regrouped his Grey Hunters. Oh, actually, no, he didn't regroup his Grey Hunters. They were too close to my guys, but they kept running. So they're next to that objective over there in the little forest on the left-hand side. So they're going to be able to take it when they regroup. And then I think he kept his Land Raider stationary and just opened up with it now that night fighting was over and he was able to get some good shots off. He did a couple wounds to the assault squad on the left-hand side, bottom left-hand corner there. So in assault, he was able to. I don't think he didn't do any wounds to the Sanguinor because I had a Sanguinary Priest in range to get some feel no pain action going on over there, and the Sanguinor was able to kill a couple more guys in the squad, and then they held in because they had a Wolf Priest and they were fearless, so they just held on. So that's good for me because I'm going to be able to assault that unit with my 2 assault squads that are hanging out over there and wipe it out pretty easily and roll on and deal with some other enemy units. Okay, bottom of turn 2, the Blood Angels' turn. Yeah, as you can see, the bikers have disappeared. They've been turned into a big messy smear by the 2 assault squads assaulting them, as well as the Sanguinor doing wounds. The assault squads were able to kill all of the bikers because they had Furious Charge and the Sanguinor Aura of Fervor, and then I think they did 2 carry-on wounds for no retreat to the Wolf Priest. The Wolf Priest failed both of his saves, which was very unlucky, and he died right off the bat. So I was able to wipe out all of those guys. And then I've consolidated my assault squads back a little bit to be able to deal with those Great Hunters on the right hand side. Those are going to be a problem because they could take objectives, obviously, and I really need to deal with those. As you can see, in my opponent's turn, he's going to move up that Land Raider. I moved my assault squad back. I only moved up a little bit so that it would be hopefully out of assault range from the Blood Claws if they decided to get out. But that Land Raider is coming down pretty fast, bearing down on me, and it's not going to look so good for the Blood Angels once those guys pile out and start doing some damage. Okay, here's top of turn 3. This is the Space Wolf's turn. As you can see, the Land Raider's moved up, as I said it would. He hasn't piled his guys out because he's out of range, obviously, but he did take some shots off with the assault cannon, and I think he killed a assault marine or 2. His Grey Hunters on the other side of the map moved up. They piled out. They got in rapid fire range of one of those assault squads and did, I think, 4 or 5 wounds. So seriously, did some serious damage to one of those assault squads and were able to kill a bunch of guys. Another unlucky thing for me was the drop pod was able to fire his Stormbolter at the Sanguinor and kill him. He only had 1 wound left. I rolled a 1 to save, and I rolled a 1 for my Feel No Pain, so not looking too good for that. It's kind of a running joke that the Sanguinor in my army always dies in ignominious ways. He gets killed by deviating blast templates or Stormbolters, stray shots or whatever. But he always does. He's always really good, so I don't really mind because he always does his job. So that's the end of the Space Wolves turn 3. Let's go on to Blood Angels. Okay, Blood Angels turn 3, bottom of the 3rd round. My 2 assault squads over there on the right-hand side moved up and assaulted those Grey Hunters. I was glad that my opponent decided to move them up and attack me because that meant I could obviously counter-assault and wipe them out pretty easily. Actually, I didn't wipe them out, I'm sorry. I killed 7 of them out of 10, and the rest of them ran away onto the objective in the center. That's a little bit off screen, so I'll have to chase them down and kill them later, but I'll be moving up to that objective anyway with those 2 assault squads to take it, and that's fine with me. I moved my scouts out of the cover that they were in on the right-hand side just to get closer to the objective. Actually, I didn't move them out at this point, I just moved them forward. They weren't going to be able to shoot anything except for maybe the Predator, but that was a long shot, and I really wanted to them to take that objective. They're going to have to break cover for a turn and to take the objective, but they do have camo cloaks, so hopefully I'll be able to survive with 1 model and take that objective. But they were only 100 points. I don't really care what they do. Other than that, I've moved my units up to attack my opponent's Land Raider. The assault squad moved up on the left-hand side. Missed with the melt-gun, of course, because that's what they do. And then the Rhinos moved up to sort of block off the objective there, so his Blood Claws couldn't pile out and then get onto the objective. So hopefully I'll be able to keep them off, and then with mass shooting, do some damage with them, even if they do attack one of the units over there and destroy it. So yeah, I think I also wrecked the Rhino over on the other side. with the missile launchers from the Devastator squad. I think that's what happened. And then the other Devastators fired at the Land Raider and didn't do anything because it's a Land Raider and they only have missile launchers. So there you go. Let's go to round 4. Okay, Space Wolves round 4. Now, one of the shots from one of the missile launchers on one of the turns, and I don't remember which one, it did immobilize the Predator, and that stopped it from being able to turn and bring all of its last cannons to bear against my scouts. So the Predator did fire at the scouts, and it didn't actually do anything. It did 1 wound. I think it missed with one of the last cannons, and then did 1 wound, and I made my 6+ cover save. So that was very lucky for me. The scouts are almost on that objective at this point, and the Blood Claws obviously piled out of the Land Raider. They were able to assault the assault squad that are there pretty easily. The Land Raider then fired its multi-melta at the Rhino in the center, and they wrecked it pretty easily. And I failed my pinning test for that unit, so that unit is pinned now, which is very unlucky for me. But the Blood Claws with their Furious Charge from Ragnar, and then the plus D3, my opponent rolled 3 on the D3, so they had 5 attacks apiece. They had so many attacks, they killed, I think, 7 of the Assault Marines that were there. So the 3 Assault Marines remaining, and the Sanguinary Priest ran away into the village there, and then regrouped because they have a nation of no fear. But now all the Blood Claws are sitting there out in the open, and I can bring some withering fire to bear on them, and hopefully deal some damage, and enough damage to be able to counter assault with a couple of units and just wipe that unit out and not have to deal with it anymore. And in that case, that would bring the game pretty decisively to me. In the ruin to the center, I should mention that one of my assault squads moved up, didn't take any wounds from dangerous terrain, which is good, assaulted the unit, and killed all but one of them. So I almost got the objective in the center locked down. The objective on the left-hand side is pretty contested, and I might have the objective on the right-hand side with those scouts, so we'll see how it goes. Round 4 for the Blood Angels, I decided to bring my firepower to bear onto the Blood Claws there. I fired a bunch of frag missiles into that. I fired the bolters from the tactical squads. I fired flamers. I fired bolt pistols. I fired every damn thing, and I only killed 5 of them. So that wasn't too good. Although I did pile out the tactical squad, the combat squad from the Rhino there with the Sanguinor's champion in it. And I think that now, thinking back on it, I think I forgot that they did have Red Thirst, and I forgot they had Furious Charge, but that's okay, because neither side did any wounds at all. They both whiffed, and we stuck in combat, which was good for me, I guess, because I wanted to keep them in combat as long as possible. And that me being in combat with them meant that they weren't moving towards my objective, and that consolidate that they were forced to make after I assaulted them meant that they were moved farther away from the objective. Now that we're getting to turn 5 and the game might be over, I really want to hold down those objectives as well as possible. I wiped out the unit on the unit in the center pretty easily with a power weapon from the squad there, and I think took some pot shots at the Predator but wasn't able to do anything, so that's how that goes. And that, I think, is the end of that round. Okay, so this is going to be the last photo of the game. I believe that this is the end of the Space Wolves round 5. So here's what happened. The Blood Claws were able to get their troops in and wipe out that tactical squad that were fighting against them over in the left-hand side there. The Land Raider opened up on that tactical squad in front of it, and even though I had a couple cover saves, he was able to kill 2 of them, so brought them down to 3 guys, but they were still holding that objective. Other than that, I think he fired at the scout squad, didn't do anything, and yeah, that was pretty much his whole turn. So at this point, my opponent decided to concede the game. Just because in his opinion, there was very few ways that he could have been able to bring the game back, which is pretty much true. I don't think I could have dealt with the Land Raider, and I think he could have used that to his advantage. He could have moved that up to contest his troops, or he could have taken those Blood Claws, brought them into the Land Raider, and then moved back. The problem is that he just didn't have enough units to be able to do damage or to contest any objectives. If he did use the Land Raider as cover for the Blood Claws so they didn't get mowed down by the Devastators, then he wouldn't be using it in order to contest objectives, and I just had possibly 3 objectives at this point, and he could only really have contested 1 and taken 1, so he really couldn't have brought it back. I would have probably had 2 to his 1, and there was very little way that he could have taken this game out. So even so, it was a very good game. I was complaining in my last battle report that I didn't have any good players around my area, and my particular opponent here just piped up and said, "Hey, we have a gaming club 20 minutes away from you. Gaming group 20 minutes away," and I was like, "Hey, awesome!" So moved down, played a game, and it was great fun. And I think both of us had fun. It was a good game, and yeah, there it is. I was trying out this new list. I really like it. The amount of firepower it can bring to bear is awesome. I've never really gotten a good use of the Devastators, though, mainly because either terrain makes it difficult for them to be able to get line of sight, which is never a bad thing. I think the more line of sight blocking terrain in the game, the better. But the other thing is, I've only played it 2 games. The first game had a big building in the center that made it difficult for them to get good arcs of fire. And then this game obviously was Dawn of War. They had to move up later, and I didn't really have the area to bring my units into good firing positions. But either way, I'm loving the list. I like the tactical flexibility of the assault squads, plus the firepower of the tactical squads and the devastator squads, and then having rhinos that I can paint and look really pretty is never a bad thing. So I hope you all enjoyed this report. It's gone really long, and I don't really know why, but yeah, there it is. For more cool reports, more awesome painted models, check out Trevy's Painted Trevy's Painted Table.com, or my channel, one of those, or both. There you go.